Rooster Bat is where it's at. Oh, he's all that, and that's a fact, you know it. He's the king of the podcasting thing.
Hello, freaks and geeks. This is Dave Cadena. In studios with me today, we have Jess. Hello,
Hey.
Jess. We are celebrating our 25th episode, and we wanted to share with you a little bit about us. We wanted to go and tell you guys how we got together and, talk with you about us so you guys can be a part of who we are. And we want to thank you for getting us to 25 episodes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's going to be kind of similar to our 20 questions episode that we did in the past. This one, we're just going to be
We're going to bring it back a little bit and talk about how we met.
Exactly. You want to get us kicked off?
Sure.
Okay.
Starting at the beginning?
Yep.
Alrighty. So we met when I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working at McDonald's. And you came in as a new hire. And you were 21?
Yeah, just turned 21, yeah.
I always forget if you turned 21 or 22.
No, 21.
And I was what are they called? A drive-thru clerk?
Mm-hmm.
What were you?
I was a fry cook, I think, and a grill person. I don't remember. I didn't stay at the job very long.
Yeah, it was. We always say 2 weeks, but it was more like a month or a month and a half.
Yeah, it wasn't very long at all.
Yeah, but you were in between jobs, and
Mm-hmm.
that was my full-time job. And I remember all the girls were hanging all over you all the time. And I was talking to a friend of ours who I didn't know was our friend. I just thought he was my friend.
Yeah.
But you went to school with him.
Oh,
and I was
Todd.
talking to him about you.
Uh-huh.
And he encouraged me to go after you, even though the other girls were already hanging all over you. And I didn't. I thought I was Mrs. Sly Pants and put my number in your butt pocket.
Yeah.
You returned the favor.
I wasn't quite as smooth. I didn't get it in your pants. I didn't. You were 17, so that's my excuse. I will stick with that till
Yeah, he missed my pocket. He tried to put it in my pocket.
Yeah,
missed.
I wanted to be slick, and that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
That just didn't happen. But still, I mean, we managed to make it happen as soon as you turned 18.
Yep, you took me out. You picked me up for. You didn't take me out at all. You refused to go on a date with me until my 18th birthday.
Correct.
Which was thankfully just a week or two away from that butt pocket phone number.
And then the directions you gave me to pick you up. What happened?
Were beautiful. I don't know what your problem is. I'm great at giving directions.
The directions were so off. They took me down this one road where I had to find a payphone because I didn't have a cell phone. I had to find a payphone and call her and find out what happened. I missed a turn, a couple of them.
I just never gave you the turns. I just completely skipped a whole road and went from one to the other and skipped the one that goes between them. So you ended up somewhere else.
Yeah,
which made you late.
Yeah, and of course going late, and then trying to then scatterbrain. Meet Dad, meet everybody, and take you out on our first date. And then, of course, go take you putt-putt.
Mm-hmm. Our first date was mini golf, which honestly, it was a great first date.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a question for me?
You're just gonna drop it right there?
Do you want to add more? I think that's how we met.
That is how we met in our first date.
That's our first date, yeah.
We finished our first date with lots of making out between each hole and ice cream that I paid for.
That's why I wanted to drop it.
Oh, that's why you wanted to drop it. My birthday, our first date.
Yep.
And we definitely broke gender roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
Or I paid for it all.
See, I am a true feminist. I believe in equality. I want to make sure that It's equal rights for everyone.
Right. From the very start.
From the very beginning. You paid for everything.
Do you want to ask a question first? Or do you want me to ask you a question
My
first?
question was, how did we meet? So, yeah.
Oh. Okay. There's that one.
Yeah.
So it's my turn is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. So we have been married this year for 16... Oh, no. We've been together for 16 years.
Married for 13.
Married for 13. Lucky 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the fun thing about our anniversary this year is it's the day that California went into lockdown.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Ooh.
So we didn't go out to dinner on our anniversary, that's for sure.
No.
We actually locked that up a week before. All right, so my question is, in all of these 16, 13 years, what is your favorite part of our marriage?
Oh, our favorite part of our marriage. I would have to say, like, honestly, it's our spontaneous nature. Like we try to say that we pre-plan everything. And let's be honest, we really don't. We don't plan anything. I think our last vacation had some planning to it, but we still don't plan everything through and through. The spontaneousness of our relationship, like when we first got together, we would go to the beach. We would go just midday camping somewhere on the coastline. And we still kind of do that. Like now that this environment is going on, COVID's kind of rampant, we don't really do like that as much, but we'll do like midday lunch dates, and like we're gonna go run off and go on a hiking trail, and things like that. There's still a spontaneous nature that we have, and that's one of the favorite things that I appreciate about our relationship, is because we don't have a set in stone mythology. Oh, we need to do this, this, and this. I mean, we have
like goals and life plans. We have a generalized idea of what we want in life, but we don't have like, we're going to do this by this age. Yeah, we've never really followed a path for that.
No, not at all.
No, honestly, like every decision we've ever made for like everything, let's have children. Okay, let's have children. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So that for me is something I really appreciated about our relationship, and I still continue to appreciate about our relationship. So my question to you is, what were your thoughts, your original thoughts about us? Like when we first got together, we started moving in with each other, and you were living with me. What were your thoughts? And just basically like, what do you think was going to happen in the relationship? And do you feel like you've accomplished whatever those thoughts may have been in the relationship?
So when we first moved in together, I was still in high school. So I moved in with you shortly after I turned 18. So if you do the math there, I moved in with you maybe 2 months after.
Something like that, yeah.
I think it was May. My birthday was in March. So I think I moved in with you 2 months after knowing you. And I didn't have any thoughts except that I was just jumping.
You were just taking a leap?
And my first thoughts of you was, because at first, like, we went on our first date, and then we chatted, like, every day on the phone. I even ditched school when our dogs are barking too much right now. They're having fun. I thought I was really into you, but you weren't really reciprocating those same, like, I couldn't tell if you were into it or not. Yeah. And I know that you were being that, like, push away kind of thing, so I was scared to jump all the way in, but also wanted to. Yeah. And also, I was a young person, so I was also pretty naive, I think.
Well, we were both naive, and at the same time, I was just coming out of a huge, huge mistake. I had a huge, like, just
we met right after you left the military. Yep. And you were getting divorced.
Yeah. And both of those were a super culture shock. And I had trust issues. I had a lot of trust issues when we first got together.
You were majorly depressed.
Yep.
And
I was very much an alcoholic by definition.
Yep, which is something I didn't really realize until afterwards.
That's why I needed the McDonald's job, is so I could be able to pay the bookies at the bar. It was definitely a crazy time for me, and I look back at that time and I'm thankful. I don't really go to bars. I don't drink.
No, you didn't do that around me.
No, I stopped doing almost everything
The moment
I
moved in.
You moved in, yeah, because I found my other half. I know you didn't see it at that time, but for me, it was I found my other half, and as being
you're a hopeless romantic. Mm-hmm.
I fall in love first. I go 2 feet in. Once I'm in, I can never come out. I'll just deep dive until the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. In fact, you did the whole. Any chance you got? Do you love me yet?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to be the first to say it.
No.
But I was also like, I'm not going first. I'm not going to give everything and then get stomped on.
Yeah. But it was one of those things that I was in that relationship where I dipped my 2 feet in and it got broken. Mm-hmm. Both legs shattered and hit the asphalt and whatever. And I'm just thankful that I don't have to worry about that.
I always forget that you were married before me.
Okay. You have another question for me?
Oh yeah, I do have questions. I always forget because, of course, I'm your first.
Yeah, well, I was a virgin before I met you, so.
If you could drive one car for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Okay.
I think. Can I guess what it would be?
Yeah, go ahead.
It would either be like an old 60s Corvette,
mm-hmm.
or I don't know, maybe an Impala.
Impala? Well, no, that's far off. I would drive an Impala, but not for the rest of my life.
Okay.
There are some
definitely went down the old car route.
Old car, wrong year set. I would probably in the 50s Corvette. A much nicer body, more intuitive, 4-speed, amazing car. But if I was to drive a car for the rest of my life, it would have to be a Victory motorcycle.
Yeah. I can see that for you.
Yeah, that thing was so smooth. Or a newer Indian. They're so smooth, so comfortable.
With brown leather.
Yeah.
An Indian needs to have brown leather.
Yo.
My vehicle would be like the 2022 Toyota Tundra. That's electric.
Yeah. Your vehicle's like, yeah. No, let's be as basic as possible.
My dream car is an El Camino.
So for me, it's like I want to have. I don't know. I would like to have that adrenaline rush. You know me. I love to be able to stay motivated, and having a motorcycle, just there's something about it. Like
the freedom on the road.
Yeah, there's nothing that compares to it. All right.
Yep.
So my question is, we made a determination. So what made us have the determination to only have 2 children?
I think this one's an important one.
Mm-hmm.
Because going in, you joked a lot, and I never knew if it was a joke or not, and I still probably don't. You always said that you wanted to be a dad, and that you wanted at least 7 or 8 children. And you come from a very large family, so that idea was terrifying.
Yeah.
I also came into it not ever wanting to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted 0 children. The thing is like, I think that on my end, I was just still young, and I had, like when you first spread your wings out and you're testing the world and seeing how, what it's like.
Yeah.
I had that freedom still, that young mindset of just living for me.
Exactly.
And then for myself, I don't know if it happens for everyone else, but like you fall in love and you enjoy being with that person, and then you imagine a life with children with them, and you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe kids aren't so bad.
Yeah.
We had kids pretty early on. I think
we were together for 2 years.
We were together for about 1.5 years before we got pregnant.
Okay, but
Because you still have like 9.5 months, 10 months.
tomato
Yeah.
potato. Well, why did we stop at 2?
I like smaller families.
Okay.
I think 2 is a good compromise for us.
It was
Because-
most definitely. What we found out is every family package comes with 4 tickets. So was that a determining factor, you think?
I think that like we joked that it was like you go to Disneyland, one parent gets to go with one child, and you go to dinner and you can sit at a 4-seater table.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was like why. I don't think I thought very hard about that reason. But pregnancy is not a joke. Like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I had good pregnancies. They were easy, and it didn't take too long for us to get pregnant both times.
And
But it's still hard on your body.
what a lot of people don't know is that Abs wasn't even born yet when I had a surgery to prevent any more children.
We knew we knew going in when we decided to have Abs.
Mhm.
We were like, this is our last child. If something happens and they don't survive the pregnancy, then we have one child.
Yeah. God rest her soul.
Thankfully that child lives.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful. But before she was born, you went and got Mr. Snippety Snip.
Yep. Snip, snip, don't snip back.
And I appreciate that because it meant that I could have no hormones in my body.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of men don't understand that a vasectomy, yes, it is a surgery that can be completely reversible,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a surgery that's an in and out procedure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, you were there for 20 minutes, 40 minutes maybe?
something like that. And it literally took 3 days of recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to do everything. I mean, you still wait the 7 days to make sure you don't get pregnant again. But
I think it was more than that. Like, we had to use protection for 3 or 4 months.
but
um,
you were pregnant still,
Yeah, exactly.
so
And you don't want to get down to business after a baby.
no,
You just don't want to.
no. So I mean, it worked out. I mean, you were still pregnant with Abs when I got snippy snipped.
Yeah.
And then
Your recovery was really fast.
recover. Yeah, frozen peas, my guys, frozen peas.
And
let me tell you.
tight boxers.
You want compression shorts.
Yep.
Yeah, don't use boxers. Use compression shorts. All right.
Same
you have
thing to me. And they're all the same.
your question for me, my dear.
Let's see here. Oh, you're a dreamer. You really are.
Mm-hmm.
What is one of your dreams that I can help you achieve?
One of my dreams that you can help me achieve. Man, that is a good question. A lot of my dreams are solely on the realm of reality. So you've always helped me achieve most of my dreams. I really don't have many dreams that you haven't been a part of. You haven't been through the process with me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to join a motorcycle club. You were there. You supported me. I wanted to get my real estate license. You were there. You supported me. And, there's always been, you've always been there to support me. So there really isn't a dream that I can't imagine you there already being there with me.
I think that's true both ways.
Yeah.
Because you show up, you're the first person that's cheering me on in anything I go for.
Yeah. For reals.
And even I've been a self-employed for 10 years this year,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge accomplishment because self-employment is rough.
Yeah.
And it's also my dream job, so I get to do that. And you encourage me and push me out the door hey, you deserve to be paid for this.
Yep. I think that's what it comes down to is there's not a dream that I can have in my reality that I can't imagine you being a supportive role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I wanted to start podcasting, you were there, and you have been there almost on every episode.
Almost, except I'm not very good at interviewing when you have guests.
Yeah.
I get shy. What do I say?
What do I do?
What do I do with my hands?
What do I do with their hands? I'm gonna pet the puppy.
That's terrible.
Well, yeah, but it's true. there's not a single dream that I can have that you're not a part of, in reality. So for me, like, what can you do to accomplish anything in the future?
Stand by your side.
Stand by my side. Just keep doing what you're doing. There's literally nothing more, nothing less. If you do less, then I understand that. I'm a big like go over the board type person, so I understand if like, hey, we need to slow down on this, or hey,
I think we've always been really good at doing that too, though. Like, hey, this isn't the time for this part right here. Whoa, that was loud.
That was loud. What was that?
I'm playing my video game. I had an ad. I don't want to knit because it's making too much noise on the needles. But then here we go with video games.
Okay. Did you get baby fever after our kids, and what did you do to subdue that?
I actually, this is one of those touchy subjects, but I didn't get baby fever because I suffered quite a bit with postpartum depression. Mm-hmm. And I think that, unfortunately, that was my birth control. I had a really rough time after both kids, just like with mental health. And it took a lot to break out of it. Mm-hmm. So I think that was my birth control and not getting baby fever. But also, I still don't get baby fever. Maybe it's because I work with babies so much. Yeah. I love babies, but I prefer when they come from other people. And have you seen how many pets we have?
Yeah, exactly. We got a literal zoo. Mm-hmm. But I think mainly what I was trying to get at was, you did get an occupation where you are working with babies a lot.
Yes.
You also provided another family with babies.
Yeah, I was a surrogate.
Yeah. So maybe you didn't have baby fever, but like anytime you do get the itch, like a newborn shows up at your house.
That's true. I like the ability to like hold them for a little while and then give them back.
Exactly. So that's my baby fever. That you're like, oh, they're so cute. Yeah. Stay away.
See, and things like baby poop and puke and breastfeeding and all of the like things that scare people away are things that don't bother me in the least bit. Crying babies. Mm-hmm. I will tell you when it does bother me. Crying babies. At hotel rooms when we don't have our noise machine. Oh. And you can hear them through the walls. That is the only time
last
because
hotel
I'm
we were
such
just
a
at?
light sleeper. Yeah, the last hotel we were at was like like I put us in the middle of a drug pen or something. I'm not allowed to plan vacations.
So every vacation we've ever had that was planned by Jess has been an adventure. Uh-huh. In its entirety.
It's always because I'm always trying to get a good deal. Like, we have 4 people. Uh-huh. You and I share a bed. Yep. Our kids are teenagers. Like, they're full-size humans. Yeah. They can't share a bed.
I understand that.
So we all need beds, and that can be hard to find.
We didn't have a bed last time.
We had a couch. Uh-huh. A pull-out couch. And it was awful.
Had period stains on it.
Oh, God. We went to Walmart. I'm so sorry. We went to Walmart and bought our own sheets and pillows and pillowcases, and I Lysoled everything. For reals, like it was like an aerosol hell.
Yeah. And then the kids' bed wasn't, much better. Like
their beds weren't bad. They were clean, and they were actually like nice to lay on, but their room had no moving air, so it was warm in San Diego.
And it was super stuffy because even the AC that we had like fingernails in it.
Oh, it had raisins. It legit. I still have not left a review. Oh. I'm still skeeved out.
That hotel, like, we're not going to tell you in Chula Vista where it's at, but if you
by a bus station.
if you ever need a hotel and you're in the city of Chula Vista, San Diego,
just stay in San Diego downtown. It's like $40 more. Just do it.
It's worth the money to spend a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Don't save your dollars going, oh, well, I can fit 4 people in this $89
You know where it sold me?
Where?
I was like, cool, it has 3 beds and a like mini kitchen. So our kids don't like eating fast food or eating out almost at all. So that makes vacation hard. And I was like, cool, it's got a stove and a little, like sink and microwave and a fridge. that'll be good for if I need to cook for the kids.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell. Not in that kitchen. I was scared it might blow up.
It was pretty awful. We ended up like having to clean the kitchen, and it was
washed everything when we got home.
Yeah, we ended up sterilizing.
And it
everything.
wasn't so much like the cleanliness. Like for the most part, it was clean. It was just things were missed.
The phone had no keys on it.
No buttons. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more so like you were asked for if you sold drugs. We left to go get utensils because everything's shut down. We ate in our room.
Mm-hmm.
We pick up food and bring it back to the room, and we came home with no utensils to eat with. So you had to go drive over and walk over and get some. You thought it would be safe.
Yeah.
It was not safe.
It was not. I was asked if I was a gangbanger and if I represented a red or blue crew. I do not. I represent myself in the Rooster Bath show.
Yeah. So that was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And then I also felt like I couldn't leave like anything in our room. We packed everything with us into the zoo.
It was bad.
So bad.
They didn't have do not disturb signs on the door because they knew like if you're not there, you want to be disturbed, and we didn't. We didn't want people to touch our stuff. Like they just threw towels on the bed.
Yeah, they didn't even clean anything up or take the trash out. They just like, here's some towels, plop.
You're on your own.
Gosh, so yeah, that was just the last vacation.
Yeah, the one previous to that one, we went up a short and a very long hill where we have 3 children.
I'm not a child.
Uh-huh.
I'm an adult that's scared of heights.
Terrified of heights and windy roads. Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's
then
let's take a day trip. I love Big Sur. I will scream through that whole drive just to get to Big Sur.
We drove 20 miles an hour on the 55.
I am so scared of heights. It's such a beautiful view, but I hate it.
Like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. I mean, we really got to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you have a question for me?
I am not allowed to book them. Or that one time, like we have to have handicap accessible. ADA is a requirement for us. Mm-hmm. Stairs are a no-go. That one time we were on the 3rd freaking floor with no elevators.
Oh yeah,
the worst.
But
okay, we need to tell our dogs to stop barking.
Okay, I got that. You...
I'm gonna pull up my questions. I don't know what they're barking about. Oh, they're playing. They are having too much fun.
Yeah.
All right. And it's Cece, so she never knows when to stop.
Yeah.
All right. My question is, what is your best memory of our dating years? And I want to answer this one, too.
Okay. So the best memory I have of our dating years. Okay. So we went to go see a Lord of the Rings movie. All right. And that movie, neither one of us were prepared for the length of the movie.
We were dumb. We didn't check into that.
Yeah, we just said it's part of the spontaneous nature of ours.
I was still living with my parents.
Yep. And
it was a school night.
All that being said, it was a 3-hour movie. And when I ended up dropping you off, you got...
My ass got grounded.
And you tried telling the truth. And, like, I know this shouldn't be, like, one of my favorite parts about it.
I got grounded because they thought I was lying. They're like, there's no way you're at the movie that long.
That thing added up to, you told the truth. And it was one of those moments, like, we would never watch any more of those Lord of the Ring movies. So...
I still haven't watched any since then, I don't think. Like, just little snippets. I've always wanted to do...
it would be
like a marathon day. It would be like a marathon week. I
think it would require the whole weekend. Yeah.
And I suck at sitting still.
So another one, this just real quick, another one was when you ditched school. Mm-hmm. I wasn't working.
You made me sound awful.
I wasn't working. And, I mean, you graduated high school, so it's okay. I wasn't working, so I met you over at the park, and we
Mhm.
played Uno for like 5 hours.
I don't think it was 5 hours.
It felt like 5 hours. It was amazing.
Probably like an hour, but still
Yeah.
one of our favorite games.
Yep. We still play it today. So those are the dating memories, things that still haven't changed the way we do things. Like we still don't watch Lord of the Rings, and we still play Uno.
We still do, yeah.
So what is your favorite?
My favorite memory of all of our dates is on our very first date.
Of course.
When we were standing in line to get our little putt sticks and our mini golf balls. And we're standing in line waiting patiently. And you look over at me and you're all Forrest Gump voice.
I want
to kiss you. I don't think you meant for it to come out that way.
Yeah.
But it totally did. And Forrest Gump's my favorite. So I was like, turned my head and like snort laughed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kissed you. You kissed me.
That was our first kiss, wasn't
It sure was. That's my favorite because it's like wrapped up in the best things. We shared a kiss and it was Forrest Gumpy. It was like corny and goofy and I love it.
You know, and I was just so nervous. I was completely like, okay, she's a beautiful girl. She's out of your league. Like,
just remember, know that I'm disgusting.
But remember, you're a nerd, all right, with an alcohol problem. You know, try to be smooth. Remember the pocket with, you know, putting the phone number. Try to be smooth. And I just butchered that whole thing. Like, you know, hey, do you have mirrors in your pockets? Because I can see my pants on fire.
Yeah. The fun thing is like neither one of us are smooth in the least bit.
No.
We're both clumsy and awkward and weird.
Yeah. So what I have is, what is something you appreciate about our relationship?
Something that I appreciate about our relationship?
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a very respectful relationship. Like, when I'm going full batshit crazy, you know how to calm me down.
Yeah.
And you know what my needs are. Like, you respect my boundaries. Sometimes it's taken a lot of work to get to that point. And there's a lot of freedom in our relationship that I don't think a lot of people know how to deal with.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, for me, it's, you know, you often are pushing me to get out of the house.
That's not true.
And, you know, you always want me to work late.
I think you got this wrong.
Oh, wait. I'm so confused.
More like you plan out my girls' nights out when we're allowed to have them again.
Yeah.
And you go on like, we haven't done it in a while because you're not in the motorcycle group anymore. Mm-hmm. But there'd be weekends where you'd be gone all weekend with the guys. And honestly, I took advantage and enjoyed myself some quiet time. And I don't have to worry about you when you go.
Yeah.
Like, I can relax. Except for, like, I always check on you to make sure you're still two wheels on the road.
Mm-hmm. We're upside down. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's a lot of things I appreciate about our relationship. One is the fact that, like, you are my yin to my yang.
That is so important.
It really is. Like, I'm an off the wall handled person, and you're more of a not so much. Like, you build up to crazy. Mm-hmm. I go crazy first.
But you're also the fun person and the adventurer, and I'm more of a, well, let's plan it out and make sure this is the right idea.
The reason we're so spontaneous is because I'm like, oh, I want that. Let's do that. Hey, you want to jump out of a plane today?
You know what? I almost did.
Almost
did. And then I didn't. So there we are.
I most definitely did. I jumped out of the plane. I enjoy jumping out of the plane. I probably can't jump out of a plane for a long time, but I really did.
One day in the future you can.
Yeah.
Your heart's not ready yet.
No, it's not. I have trouble blowing up a balloon right now. It's crazy. Yeah.
You'll get there.
But, you know, I do appreciate the fact that, you know, if there's something on my mind, I can come to you about it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when I, like, for instance, this whole podcasting operation, it's not an easy thing to jump into. You have to do some planning.
Yeah.
And when I approached you, you're not a extrovert type person. You just don't have that in you. You're not that person.
No. I can fake it for about an hour, and that's tops.
Yeah, which is why every episode is an hour long.
That's not why.
But like, and when I brought this to you, you were like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you've helped me because I have a hard time talking to myself. You helped me be able to talk to
somebody.
Yeah. And it's made it easier, I mean, it's not just that, but like there's so much more that you do that keeps me saying like I don't like being away from you. And
we haven't spent very much time away from each other. I went on a business trip for 4 or 5 days in 2015.
Yeah.
And I like literally cried for the first 3 days. And then you went to Oklahoma maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago.
Man, it feels like last year.
It does.
But when you were gone, you were ready to be home immediately.
Yeah.
And we've always been that way. We don't spend a lot of time away from each other.
We don't. And I mean, that's a good and bad thing because, in every relationship, you need to have your separation. You need to have your own hobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, my next question, and I know you have a question for me, but my next question is, if you have one hobby, just one, for the rest of your life, what would your hobby be?
Cleaning.
Cinderella.
You thought I was going to say knitting, huh?
I honestly thought, like, photography.
I don't think that I'll do photography. I think photography will always be part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that once the kids are, like, off and on their own, I don't think that I will keep it as a career or hobby. I think it'll be like a pick it up now and then just to still see if I got it.
Oh, okay.
But I've actually been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I love knitting, but also I have tennis elbow. I know that's not going to be forever.
Yeah.
But the one thing that always makes me feel good and calms me the F down is cleaning.
Cleaning?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a legitimate hobby that you would do?
I enjoy it.
Wow.
Like, think about, like, dragging the nozzle of the vacuum along the line of dust bunnies under the bed and watching them get sucked up. That is so satisfying. When we were doing, we were outside this morning and we were pressure washing everything in the back.
Yeah.
I could do the whole fence tomorrow.
You probably will.
I might.
You probably will. No, that's not.
It was so satisfying, and I love it. It does calm me down.
There's a difference between satisfying and cleaning. Like,
think about it though. Like, what are my best days?
When there's a clean house, but that's not you going. But you going into cleaning mode isn't fun for anyone. Like, it's like
that's when it's like panic clean mode. Like, we about to have some guests over, and we forgot to do because we always procrastinate.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So panic cleaning isn't the same thing as like cleaning out the closet.
Okay. So
organizing the pantry.
I don't know. For me, like,
so good
if I was to get into a hobby and I had to do it for the rest of my life, that's the only hobby, I'd probably go back into either drawing or painting. Like, I enjoyed drawing. I loved sketching. I miss sketching.
You should do it.
I just, it's one of those things that you have to have time.
Yeah.
My world is not a time-friendly world.
No, we live a very busy life.
We do, like, and we still managed to get like 38 episodes of NCIS and whatever is on Netflix knocked out in a week. But no, we have very time-consuming operations that we go through. Yeah, so I like sketching. I think sketching would be something I would want to go back into.
You also really enjoy woodwork lately. But I don't see you doing that forever. Yeah.
So, you had a question for me?
I do. Let's see what I got. Ooh, I am all about the love languages. Love languages are like how people like to be loved and the way that they like to show love. There are many different ways to do it. What are 5 practical ways that I can show my love for you?
5 practical ways. Okay, so for me is
Like, how do you like to be loved? What makes you feel the most loved?
so feeling the most love for me is most likely just going to be you being there. Like I don't really need a whole lot. I'm good with just you being there. You know, you could be in your own space, and as long as you're there, I'm pretty much okay.
Yeah, but we all need things that like make us feel special. I know one of the things that you need, like it's something that's always on the top of my list to make sure that it happens for you is like words of affirmation. Like continually, I tell you when you're doing a good job, or oh, there's a big bark.
Yeah, this is Cece still.
That's not Cece. That's your dog. Anyhow, gosh, that's such a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do thrive on being told when you're doing a good job, or
yeah, there's a performance thing for me. You know, I like to make sure that I am doing a good job, and if I'm not doing a good job, I like to know whether I'm not as well. It's not as fun.
You don't have to have 5, just like
So like for my ways of how I like to be loved is 1, I like to be appreciated. 2, recognized just as a person, like not as a you don't have to recognize me for every operation I do. Like if I put away a cup in the dishwasher, I don't want recognition for that.
Yeah.
But I do want like you supporting whatever it is, or recognizing, okay, he is helping out, and
I'm not alone.
Exactly. Because that becomes difficult, right? Like
it does.
I don't want you to know, or I don't want you to think that you're doing everything on your own.
And I think that just comes with like you work a lot of hours, so of course there are going to be days where I have more load. Yeah.
And like we split up, say for instance, mathematics and science. And
that is a must.
And history and English, like you're the history and English person, I'm the mathematics and science person. But it goes
Fuck science. It's cool, but no thank you.
But babe, we just learned about I don't remember now. I can't.
All the cells. Both of our kids are learning about cells, but in different classes
and different grades.
My brain is overloaded.
But for me, like just knowing that I'm important in your life, and I've been, that's all I need is just to know that I'm there, and then you recognize that I'm there. And for me, for the vice versa, like how I want to show my love to you is, I don't know, like a puppy. I want you to know that I'm here to support you. I want you to know that I love being by your side. And I don't really I really don't have a whole lot. Like I don't need to be snuggled up on. I don't need to be cuddled or anything like that.
No, you're not like you don't need the...
Yeah. I'm not a huge PDA person yet, ever.
We neither one of us are, except our first date. We kissed a lot.
Yeah.
All over the place.
That was the only time we've ever kissed.
That was the only time we really showed a lot of PDA.
Yeah. Well, it's not my thing.
It's not mine either. I don't like having any attention. So.
The introvert.
I could agree with that. I think another way that you're good at showing love is by showing up. You're really good at showing up and being like listening instead of reacting when it comes to emotions.
Yeah.
Which can be pretty heavy in this house because we have 4 very emotional humans.
Yeah. I think we all have similar and different emotionals at the same time. So it becomes a very...
it could be hostile sometimes.
It becomes negotiating with the terrorists.
Yes.
Like
I do not disagree.
Yeah. So I think just what we're doing now seems to be working. You have your freedoms, and sometimes when you don't take enough freedoms, I tend to call your friends and go,
Yeah, you're the only husband that does that, I swear.
She's going through Stockholm again. Let's get her locked out.
Come pick up your friend.
Take her to the beach for a weekend, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is a favorite thing you've learned about or wanted to learn about? Like, what is something that you've wanted to learn about or have learned about?
I'm not really a person that wants to go back to school. I've never had intentions of going to college or taking any extra classes outside of high school. Once I was done with that, I was done.
Yeah.
However, the older I get now, the more I would love to do like theology classes and like history classes. I love history so much. But I never really retained everything that we learned in high school, and I would love to go like relearn that stuff because it sticks better now.
Yeah.
Out, Mom. Out. You're being weird. Go on, Mom. She's like wrapping herself in that cord. Now she makes me feel bad. Did you see that face? But I would love to just learn about the things that I'm already interested in. But also, I would love to do like Abby wants to do, or Abs wants to do vocal lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do that, even though I know I would suck. I would love to take like a formal sewing class because I'm creative. I like to get my hands painted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I like to dig into that. So I would love to do more formal learning in that way.
Do you think podcasting is part of a creative nature, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anything business related is creative. Like plumbers have a special skill.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a skill that people need and rely on, but it's also like, that's art.
Yeah.
You get that turd out of that. You know?
Well, you figure out how to do a 90-degree angle on a piece of gas line.
I think it's all art in its own form. Numbers is art.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but whatever.
Mr. Isaac Newton's an asshole. Okay. You have one for me?
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know where this would be, but if you are a charitable person, you always want to help people.
Yeah.
If you gave money to a charity, which one would you pick and why?
Oh, that's a good one. There are so many things out there that need to have some type of support.
Mm-hmm. There are so many things that have touched our lives personally.
Yeah. Man, I would have to say, well, man, that is a really good one. This last couple months, I've been advocating for the blacktrans.org
Mm-hmm.
because Black Trans America is really, really, really being hit.
It really is, yeah.
And so like naturally, like that's who I'd want to donate to.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the CIDP Foundation.
Yes.
There are
which is personal for us.
Super personal for us. There's so many, like the Ronald McDonald's House.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good, amazing.
Every hospital that's led us to better health choices and options.
So many different organizations that have came together, and provided for us. So for me, if I had the World Bank, I would help them all.
Yeah, I think homeless people are really on your top shelf too.
The homeless people,
you're always giving even when you can't, and feeding when you can't. I would say that you feed a lot. Yeah.
It's important because no matter what they're going through things, they can't change their stars. People tell them get a job, this and that they're in situations mentally, physically, emotionally that people just will not understand. They won't get it. And it's not just get a job. That's not going to fix it. You know, so maybe if you don't want to give them money because they're going to go drink, which is kind of stupid, and you're going to buy alcohol yourself, you know, just give them $1 or whatever. And if you can't give them $1, buy them a burger, you know, like, you know, help them out. Like, it doesn't take any effort to help out somebody. I don't know. That's just me. I think that's chaotic when people just start
judging first instead of loving first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What is something you enjoy about our podcast?
My favorite thing about our podcast is how much you love it. Like, you get really, really fired up and excited. Mm-hmm. And it's always good to see you. I mean, it's always good to enjoy something, but it's good to see you, like, gain from it. It perks you up. It's your coffee.
Yeah. I love every bit of our podcast. Mm-hmm. There is a creative cloud of people that I get to associate with, and I get to, like, you know, bounce ideas back and forth with. Mm-hmm. You know, besides coming inside the house, like, there's a whole community I get to talk with.
You're a social being. You need that.
Yeah. And so for me, that's what I love. I love being able to podcast because, I don't have the radio voice. I don't have, you know, that great personality where I can have comedic timing. I'll eventually get it, maybe.
I feel like you always have, like, that humor when you're off the camera. I think it kicks in late.
Yeah, I'm like, that would have been a great joke. Oh, come on.
Wish the camera was rolling.
Darn. Hey, don't tell that joke on the... Oh.
Yeah, you say that a lot. I wish or save that one for the podcast.
Yeah, save that one for the... Oh, we already...
It's already done. It's done now.
Well, you know, it's one of those things, like, I love our podcast. I love the community that we're building. And I love being a part with you on this podcast. And then, of course, Abs comes on here, and I love that too. Like, Abs is enjoyable. Like, you can tell when she's, like, being herself, and then when she gets locked up, you know, like, you know, it's still enjoyable when you, like, I don't know.
I like that they love to show up for it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're not getting into it as heavy as we are, but they're still here and having fun. There's the eldest child. Statue boy.
America.
Dude, you're almost as tall as that door.
It's crazy.
Whoa,
Come
dude.
on, Bradley.
We're still in the middle of podcast too, though, so.
Yeah.
Sheesh. No, don't do it.
Please don't do it.
He's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it. Don't do it. Don't.
He did it.
Yep.
All right, is it my question or your question?
It is your question. I just asked you.
Okay. Well, he's such a weirdo. I just sniffed it. What would you like more of in our marriage?
More of?
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, probably more. I don't know. Like,
I think it's always time for me.
Yeah, more time.
We've been really blessed with time because of this year. The bullshit chaos of this year. As much as it's been awful, like, the one beautiful thing that we've gained is time.
Yeah.
And I would love to have more of that.
And then I think for me also is more outdoor activities. Like, yes. I don't like being in the house.
Gosh, I am so ready for a cool weather hike.
Like, I can't be locked in the house. And it's weird, like, as a podcaster, like, that's where all my gear's at. Mm-hmm. But I would rather take a Zoom out there in the middle of wilderness and, you know, do that. I can't stand being in the house, locked in the house indefinitely.
No, it's been really difficult even for me.
Yeah.
And I love being at home.
Exactly. So, like, I think if there was anything I would want to have more of is, it didn't matter time, season, or anything like that, but being able to go on a hike and be able to, you know, enjoy outdoors. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it.
Dude, like, we haven't gone camping in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's mentally touched all of us because If we don't do any other vacation in the entire year, we still at least go camping.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, we didn't go camping because Abs was still pretty heavily recovering.
Mm.
This year, we haven't gone because Abs is doing great health-wise, but a lot of stuff is closed. And now right now it's just too hot.
But Abs also really can't do camping yet.
Not quite. We need more of like a cabin.
Yeah.
With things that aren't on the ground. Like sleeping on a mattress would be pretty tough right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a raised cot. Otherwise, I think they'd be okay.
Like a race car, like cot?
No, like a raised cot.
Oh.
Like one of those fold-out things. That...
I'm like, yeah, dude, like, I want a race car cot. That sounds amazing.
They probably want one too, but they're kind of small.
Okay. Do you get excited about podcast day? Like, it's Thursday.
I go through the motions. So in the morning, I'm not a morning person, but that's when I have my best energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited in the morning. Then I try to hurry up and make dinner and make sure it's done in time, which is why we're no longer doing dinner. We're doing takeout on podcast nights. Yeah. But unfortunately, I get so hyped up throughout the day, I think I wind myself down. And then I get the nervousness. And I'm like, do I really need to show up? But yeah, I do. I get excited. I'm always feeling better after it's done. I'm not so nervous then.
Yeah. For me, like I get super excited. I tell the world, I'm like, oh, we're having a podcast today. 3 days before the podcast, I'm like, hey, we're gonna have a podcast on Thursday. Like, you know. And so for me, it's like, yeah, heck yeah, I get excited about podcast day. Podcast day is my favorite day. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely my favorite day. And I think it's important for me to share my day with as many people as possible. Like, hey guys, I'm having a podcast today. Mm-hmm.
You've gotten really good at hyping yourself up on Thursdays too.
Yeah.
I think you were shy about it.
I was most definitely shy. But now Thursday, well, also like moving from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Good change, except for dinner stuff. Huge change. And I mean, because every episode we were having everyone yawn, and and everybody's like, I'm tired. Like, do we have to do this? And
9 o'clock is like everyone sit down and chill time.
Yeah, it is. So I'm glad we got past that point. Mm-hmm. Now nobody yawns anymore.
I still yawn a lot. I think that's like my nervous reaction. I yawn.
All right, you have one more for me?
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Who is someone that inspires you to be a greater man?
Well, it used to be Nikola Tesla, but Elon Musk kind of ruined it. The reason I like Nikola Tesla, and this is the only reason why I like Nikola Tesla, is because his importance to the world wasn't to become wealthy. He didn't want to be like the Jeffersons or did I say Jeffersons? Mm-hmm. He didn't want to be like Thomas Edison. He wanted to be a creator, and he wanted to give everyone his knowledge. Mm-hmm. It was never about the wealth or anything like that. It was literally just to spread his knowledge with the world. So, mm-hmm. in theory, he would be my idol. Like, he died penniless, but he died doing what he loved, creating. Mm-hmm. And that right there is like that right there is the world to me. Is I don't mind not ever getting paid for it. Don't get me wrong, like, eventually I would love to be able to do this full time.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you aren't led by the money, you're led by the heart.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I want, so as far as somebody who inspires me, Nikola Tesla.
Okay. But how does that inspire you to be a better man is what the question was.
Because he inspired the world to give free power. And we all use his technology today. But as good, how does he lead or to me a better man? To me, like, just his ideology, just the idea of him being able to help people, everybody, and not just, it's like the selfless act. Like that's what I'm trying to get at. Like
Got it.
he was trying to be selfless. That's
He
that.
was cocky as hell, but he was selfless.
He was smart. He was intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an asshole too.
Yeah, you are.
But he was intelligent. But he did his with selflessness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right. My last question for you is, what famous person, alive or dead, would you or would have as a guest on the podcast?
As a guest on the podcast. Huh. This is weird because, like, I always prefer the non-guest podcast. Nothing against everyone. I just get shy.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those person that ever wants to go back and, like, have dinner with somebody else. But if I chose someone to be on the podcast, we would get to ask them questions.
Yep.
Man, that's not a good on-the-fly question because I have not a single fucking person. Is that a good question?
I mean,
answer?
It's not. Like, there's not a single person you'd want to talk to about anything, any time, any era.
I don't know if I want to take on those emotions.
That's interesting.
Because if I went back, I would probably want to talk to someone who endured the hard things and survived. To, like, know how they did it. But at the same time, like, would I want to put somebody through that emotional turmoil? Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Not even like Abraham Lincoln?
We saw a live
reenactment.
And I literally cried. I cried.
You did. I don't know, like, for me, like, you know, like, we've been watching a lot of Hamilton, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would want to talk to Aaron Burr.
I think that he was full of regrets.
Oh, absolutely. I would want to know how he felt about his decision and going into duels. I think it would be really captivating to hear his sorrow. You know? I don't know. That's just me, probably.
Yeah.
You have anything else? You have any other questions on that?
I do have one last question.
Okay.
And I think it's, like, a pretty easy one.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. What mutual goal would you like to see us accomplish?
Us as in the podcast, or us as in a
No,
marriage?
outside of podcast.
Outside of it.
It could be the podcast, but it's like that's your baby, to be honest. That's your baby.
Yeah.
That's not on my forefront.
Okay. So for me, outside of podcasting, a mutual goal I would like to be able to get a ranch and save as many dogs as possible.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah.
I think our ultimate goal is to live in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Not just to be away from people, but in society. That's less of the purpose, but to have room for, like, a sanctuary for animals.
Yeah, I would want to have some type of animal sanctuary, and
we can take on the sick and broken.
I mean, I know it would take a lot of work, but for me,
I have that kind of love.
I my puppy is my puppy. Like, all of my puppies are my puppies. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where
I would see, like, my goal is to have, like, a homestead where we provide a safe place for animals that have been either abandoned, mistreated, or unloved.
Yeah.
Plus, I just really want a donkey.
Well, why not? Get a donkey and an emu and an EU.
EU. I don't know if I want an emu, but I would love to have an alpaca.
Alpaca.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, we want to thank everyone who has been a part of our 25 episodes. Starting off with our amazing guests, we had Vincent from the Social Butterfly, our very first guest to come on, and then we had Scotty,
awesome supporter too.
Yeah, he's been through and through helping us with our support, showing us love, every week.
Being a kind human.
Yeah, just amazing. We had Scotty Moore with the BS Network. That dude is straight fire. Like his energy, all over the place. I love it. Danny Spanks with The Safer Place. He inspires multiple people to be able to save dogs, and he goes out there every day to help rescues. He's, one of those individuals that will go out there, find a lost dog, and like stay with that dog until that dog feels comfortable being around humans again.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Smith with the Chris and Emmanuel podcast. Really cool dude. Brother-in-law of myself, and just down to earth. One of my favorite episodes that we've had. Emmett is a super intelligent and just a story craft of an individual. He was with the Rifted Project. All of his episodes were like they're novel fictions and just amazing. Andy with Profile Pod TV. Once again, just an amazing individual. Rob is probably one of my favorite guys to talk to. Like straight up, he understands how to be a little bit funny, how to be a little bit serious, and Rob with the Fat, Drunk, and Stupid podcast.
That was probably like the best guest show ever.
Yeah,
and it was just really fun.
And then, of course, this last one we just had with CJ and Maddox with Talking Shiz crew or podcast. Those guys right there, a lot of fun to talk with. I mean, we found out all that there is about the wish list of chocolates and more. We can't thank everyone enough that we're about to approach 1,000 downloads. Which
is crazy. Like,
yeah.
Whoa.
You guys are amazing, every one of you. And we hope that everything that is going on in your life is going well. We're hoping that this COVID isn't holding anyone down from their dreams. And please, please, please come and check us out. We have more to come. This is only 25. Let's see how we do. All right. Thank you, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bum, bum, bum.